TSVILLA has spent the last 2.5 years honing his craft as a streamer, and today we talk about everything from how he got into gaming, how he started streaming on a faceless account, the leap he took to finally turning on the camera and revealing himself to his audience, and all of the goals he set and absolutely smashed so far this year. I really hope you enjoyed this one, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next Streams of Consciousness podcast. Right, Villa, how you doing, buddy? I'm my old school friends who are into football are going to be angry at me because being from the great city of Coventry, they're going to hate that I'm talking to you. But I'm here. We're here anyway. A man who's named himself Villa. How you doing? You good?
I'm all good. Thank you for having me. Yeah.
No,
So
good,
Coventry City is my second team, by the way.
Oh really?
Yeah.
After Villa, that's. I mean, I'm not into football, but that feels like some kind of crime that you've committed there. I think
I feel it's okay because we've never been in the same league for how many years. So I kind of feel all right. Yeah, I feel all right about it.
Nice, I like it. Well, listen, thank you so much for coming on. I always start in the same place with everyone I talk to, and that place is taking you all the way back to your childhood, those many years ago, and trying to remember what got you into gaming. What was your first or earliest gaming experience that you can remember? And this is how we establish everyone's age, really.
Yeah, well, I would say it's got to be the NES, way back when.
Yeah.
So, well, growing up, my mum brought us up with me and three other brothers. We only had one console, and
Right.
it was usually probably one game a year that we played, maybe 2 games a year. So we just constantly play the game over and over again. I remember it was a Turtles game. See, I can't remember the title of the Turtles game. I think it was probably just Turtles. But I just remember you just ate pizza to increase your health and stuff like that. And we had that on loop.
That's how I live my
yeah.
life, basically, by the way. I eat pizza to try and increase my health. That's what I'm doing on a regular basis.
I work from home, so it's easy to put it in. Put it in while you're working, yeah.
So you started out on the NES. I like that. I miss those days of having my first PC was a family PC. You didn't have your own stuff in the house.
So you had to wait your turn. Yeah,
you had we all shared one computer.
Yeah.
So you started out on the NES playing all of those games, and was it been like a consistent thing for you? Like, what was your progression from the NES? Did it go NES?
For me,
and then what was after that?
So I missed out on the SNES.
Yeah.
Because obviously it was a family thing, so if we couldn't afford it, we never had it.
Yeah.
So I would say probably the next one was the Mega Drive. No, Master System. Was it Master System? I don't know.
Which one came first, the Mega Drive or the Master System?
Oh no, sorry. I mean, I think it was NES, then Master System, then
Right.
it was Mega Drive. Yeah.
Nice.
So so from then on we had like every single console after that, but I think the NES is the one. SNES we missed out on.
The SNES. So you missed out on the SNES, but you've had everything after that.
Yeah, we had
and
everything after that.
I can see a PS5 controller in the background there.
Yeah, well, if I just move out of the way, we've still got my
wow.
consoles here. Yeah.
I mean, that is
not
a
plugged in, though.
collection.
There's no plug around there, so it's not plugged in. Yeah.
So you've got what did you have back there? You've got GameCube. You've got
I've actually got a SNES now.
You got a SNES now.
Yeah, being not been able to play back in the day, I've been able to play it now. So
you got to go and
so
relive.
I've got Dreamcast, PlayStation 1, 2, 3's there. My PS4's down here because I use it on my main TV. PS5's on my setup.
Yeah.
What else have we got? Let's have a look as well. We said Dreamcast, didn't we? The N64, yeah.
Nice.
Mega Drive's there. So I would say that Master System's probably the only one that's not there.
Wow, that is a proper collection. You've got like the dream gamer background really for a stream.
Yeah, so I don't have a green screen, so I was thinking, what could I have in the background? I just clutter it, but kind of put a little bit of a blur on it.
These are the things that no one talks about, to be honest with you, when you start streaming is the stress of having a background that looks like it's good. And I worry about it all the time. It's not a thing you should worry about. But the lighting and making sure the background looks like you're actually a gamer is one of the most important things, I think. So have you always been from like the big question that often comes up is between Xbox, PlayStation and PC kind of comes into it. It's a bit weird when you're a streamer because you usually have some kind of PC in order to be able to stream. But was there ever a decision for you in terms of those console wars? Was there a point that you took a side, or if you always just like got your hands on whatever you could get your hands on?
Never at all. Because obviously with your Nintendos, you had your Marios. You couldn't play your Marios on anything else.
Yeah.
I think it got to a point where I had a 360 and a PS3.
Yeah.
PS3, were they the same? And then I realised I was playing the PS3 more. Mm-hmm. And this was obviously, I had my own job, I had to pay my bills, I moved out and everything like that. And I was like, I can't really afford to have two consoles, and I'm playing one more than the other. Yeah. So I just stuck with the PS3 and then PlayStation onwards. So I didn't get an Xbox. I only recently just got an Xbox One because I just wanted to play the Game Pass so I can go back for the Halos and Gears of War. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's I only recently built my first PC, something that I claimed that I would never do, but I did it, and I'm only really just discovering the joys of Game Pass now, really. Yeah. I got a PlayStation 5 as the first console I got, and then I was like, because I thought the exclusives were great on that, and I was right, the exclusives on PlayStation are absolutely phenomenal, but Game Pass is like a whole other world and dimension of things to get your teeth into, isn't it?
Getting stuff on day one as well. I think was that the last Halo, didn't that come out on day one?
Halo, Starfield.
Yeah, Starfield as well. Yeah.
Rumours that COD is going to be day one release on Game Pass now as well.
Yeah, I was good about because I was really looking forward to Starfield, and I was like, yeah, it's coming out on PS5, and then obviously the massive change, and then it was like, nope, okay, and it come out.
Yeah, I did so many videos claiming that Starfield was going to be coming out on PS5. Yeah, I was wrong. Everyone was wrong there. So you kind of progressed through your consoles, and presumably you streamed through your PC.
Yeah, I had I've got a basic laptop when I first started streaming. Someone in the community gifted me a PC, which I can't game on it, but it allows me to I couldn't open tabs when I streamed on my laptop. Yeah. It was that right on the threshold of stream.
Yeah, I just spoke to someone who said exactly the same thing. They could have OBS open, but they couldn't have a browser open at the same time.
So my community member, he was like, "Here you go." He's loaded it with a load of 4 terabyte hard drives as well. So I'm saving everything on it. But this is a massive upgrade to what I do. But I can't PC game, but it still massively helps.
That's
especially with watch-alongs as well. So I do some stuff with I love Square and Capcom, so they always do reveals for their games, so I can actually have the game on stream or the video on streaming without it lagging. So
nice, I like it. So you kind of stuck with your consoles.
Yeah.
I think you describe yourself as a variety gamer.
Yes.
What do you is there kind of a through line in terms of like a game that you mainline and then you drip off onto other stuff, or are you like true variety where it's you're picking up lots of different stuff?
I'm picking up a lot of stuff. When I first started my channel, I made sure that I played the things I loved, but also didn't want to be known for a certain game. You get all the Fortnite streamers, the Call of Duty streamers, that they just stick to what they know, and that you know what you're getting from them, which I fully respect that. I have grown up playing different games, so I wanted to bring that to my channel. There's other streamers that I watch, bigger streamers. I'm a big wrestling fan, so Adam Cole streams. He does a variety stream, and he does. I picked up from him. He does like a different game every day. Yeah. So he'll play he plays Zelda on a Monday. Then the next Monday he'll play the next part of Zelda. Yes. And I was like, I'd love to be like that. So I've always it's been tough, but I've always been like that. So for me, it was Final Fantasy game, a Resident Evil game, and Monster Hunter. Okay. So those are the three big franchises. Yeah, I love them. So at least the Monster Hunter is more of a community game, and the Final Fantasy and Resident Evil are both like single player. Yeah. Pause the game, I can talk to someone, rather than it being online. Yeah.
I like that, and that's something that
we've moved from that, but we've still incorporated that into the streams.
Yeah, so. That's something I've only really just started learning now. As a variety, I call myself a variety gamer, but I'd kind of hardline a single game. Yeah. So I'd be right. We're playing The Last of Us. Now we're playing The Last of Us 2, and we're playing Red Dead Redemption 2, and then we're doing that until we're finished. Yeah. And then when I went full time, really fell into this hole of going, I'm playing Fortnite quite a lot. And I'm really starting to hate it.
Yeah. Is that because you enjoyed it? And is that because people wanted to play with you? Because that's how I felt.
Yeah, I mean, it was more...
People turned up, yeah.
Yeah, I fell into it because it was it's a good community game. It's free to play.
Yeah,
it's cross-platform. You know, it ticks all the boxes in terms of anyone in my community can play this. And it started off being like a Friday night thing, and then suddenly I was like, when I went full time and I was trying to figure stuff out, it was such an easy game just to turn on and play.
Yeah.
But yeah, very very quickly became from 1 day a week to 5 days a week, and then trying to fit other stuff in around it. So, but yeah, very much the kind of thing that you're saying now is not only am I playing multiple games, but I'm playing different games each day. I try not to repeat a game.
Yeah,
I might go back to a game same week.
You don't get burnt out on it.
Yeah, you don't get burnt out, and people people don't expect to come and see you playing anything specific. So hopefully the people that are coming back for you. But I think you're right. It's a harder thing short term.
It is. I always give people advice because some of my community members, since finding my channel, have decided to stream themselves.
Yeah.
And then they do the same thing. And I just say to them, if you're doing what I'm doing, you'll get people coming to you for the game you're playing rather than for you to start with. And then eventually they'll be like, oh, I'll watch him play this game instead. And I'll watch him. And then eventually they'll just keep turning up every single stream. But you've just got to be consistent with your schedule. Yeah. And people know when you're going to go live, whether they're going to play the game or not, and then they might end up just giving you a chance on a different game they're not interested in.
Yeah. I think that's exactly right, and I think also long term, it just gives you much more flexibility in terms of, especially talking to, it doesn't restrict you to a specific publisher, specific game. It's like if you get to the point you're talking to brands and stuff, it's like, well, actually, I can, whether it's a little indie 8-bit game or whether it's a brand new AAA. I can have both those conversations because I'm not drawn into
and they can see you might play a game that's similar to what they play, especially with indie companies. They'll be like, well, like I'm playing Crow Country at the minute.
Yes,
and a big Resident Evil fan, so it was like, that's
good crossover there.
That mixes, exactly, So
So what was the point? And this is, certainly talking to you, there's lots of very very young streamers out there now, like literally 12-year-olds sitting next to their mum, which is amazing. These guys are phenomenal, and a lot of respect for people at that age that can put themselves online.
Oh yeah.
We're slightly the other end of the scale. I wouldn't say we're quite old people yet, but we're at the other end of the scale. What was the point at which you thought that streaming and playing video games might be a viable thing to do? Was it a hobby thing at the start, or was it like, oh, this could be a career? Like, how did it start off?
I mean, it's weird. Like I don't know, maybe 3 years ago, 4 years ago, if you'd asked me the same thing, I would not have been a streamer. I didn't think it was for me. I found Twitch through lockdown because of a band I'm friends with, and they were doing. They obviously couldn't go out on tour. They couldn't, so they were doing live streams with their music on Twitch. So I created a Twitch account to watch them. But they also gamed as well, so they gamed every once in a while, but it was mainly their band music on there. Then I decided, because I was having some trouble with Monster Hunter World on PlayStation 4 at the time, and I decided, I was like, I only watch these on Twitch. Let me see if I can find a Monster Hunter streamer. And I found a couple of these, and they're all in the same community. Watched them and everything like that, and then I think it was that Christmas time. Everyone, obviously, they're all on holiday. They're all family time. No one's online. I didn't have anyone to DM or anything like that. And I was like, I'm kind of used to having these, working from home as well. I'm kind of used to having these to talk to, being on, on my screens daily and that, and I kind of miss them. Then the band had messaged me and said, look, we're going to get ready to go out on tour and everything like that. We're upgrading our streams. We don't need our capture card anymore. We think you can actually build a community if you start streaming. And I was like, nah, it's not for me. It's not for me. And then another streamer that I watched is a Pokemon streamer. He's from Coventry. And he just said to me, look, just do it. Just do it. And I was just like, I'll take it. And if it doesn't work out, I'll just give it you back. And they absolutely loved it. Really tough to start with because I started it all from scratch. And I was like, I'm just going to play Final Fantasy VII Remake because I absolutely love that game. I platinumed it at the time, and I was just like, if I play something I love, it's going to come across. I didn't have a camera at the time as well, so I was doing it just with the capture card and the gameplay. And it just kind of took off. Obviously not immediately, but I felt really, really comfortable. I couldn't watch my edits back. So it took me probably about six or 7 months to go back on the edits to be comfortable in watching myself and hearing my voice. But now I'm fine about it. So it's 2.5 years now. That is
There's a whole bunch of things that nobody tells you when you start streaming, and one of them is I literally look at myself all day. And I know what you're thinking, that can't, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's so disconcerting to go, because even outside of streaming, you're editing, you're creating content, etc. And basically, when you're streaming and it's you, whether it's just your voice or your face, you're constantly working, looking at your own image, and it's tough at times. You discover things about yourself that you don't know, like. I discovered that I blink a lot right at the start of sentences, and it's really, really a nightmare. Yeah. So you started streaming. You started with faceless streams.
Yes.
Did it feel like a leap to you to turn a camera on and have your face on? Was that did it feel
massively? I never say to anyone you need a camera to stream, because I now know a bunch of streamers who don't use cameras. Yeah. And they just. The way their voice sounds covers that fact up. So it is obviously possible for no camera streams, and big respect for that. But for me, I realised when, so there was some things that I take from other streamers that I wanted to bring to my channel, and one of them was from Stone Mountain 64, where I don't play Warzone, but I'd always watch his streams, and what I loved about him was he always commentated what he was doing when he was doing it. And it kind of filled the gaps. So if he had no camera, what he's still doing because he's commentating everything. Yeah. And for me, I also thought, I was like, I need to get a camera, because there's going to be times where I'm not going to be saying anything, and people are going to be like, "Is he there?" so having the camera there, and then me not saying anything, they still know I'm here. Yeah. So that helped me with the bit I said downtimes in the stream.
Yeah, I think especially when
I wanted to rest my voice or whatever.
Yeah, and also I think there's times, especially in story-driven games, where the silence is important. It's one of the challenging things about streaming. You've got a big cinematic or a cutscene or an emotional scene,
and you got subtitles as well. But then you don't really want to be talking over anything, do you? Yeah.
Yeah, you just wanna kind of experience it, don't you? Again, it's another challenging thing is that you don't. You sacrifice, I think, sometimes, and this is something again I'm having to figure out, is like that I don't have to stream everything I'm playing. Sometimes I can play things and enjoy them, and then maybe stream them at a later date, or not stream them at all, or whatever. But it is challenging when you're on stream and there's like big emotional cutscene and the main character's dying or whatever. Yeah, and you have to answer what you're having for dinner or whatever, because someone's asking.
Yeah, it's like something's happening. You're like, "Oh, welcome in. Yeah, great to see you." Yeah. Anyway, yeah. You kind of feel bad. You kind of feel bad.
The sub.
Yeah, but like if you played the game, if you've already played the game before and you know how long the cutscene is, you kind of like, I know they're here now. I've got to acknowledge them. Yeah, I love anyone that comes to my chat, whether they shout or lurk or whatever. But then you're like, this scene's going to be about 5 minutes, and I don't want them to go, "Oh, he hasn't spoke to me yet. I'm gonna go." So it's kind of medium you have to find. Yeah.
So you focused 100% on Twitch. Are you doing any of the platforms or anything at the moment?
I've been really blessed with being a variety streamer, because I network quite a lot, and I'm always trying to see what the new games are out, and always trying to talk to people about if we can cover the games on the channel and stuff like that. So it got to the point where I had too much time, because I've got a full-time job as well. So I do this and a full-time job. So everything happens after 5:30 for me every day. So I was like, I can't fit it all on Twitch. Yeah. So I've ended up making a YouTube now. So I'm still TSVILLA on YouTube. So that has opened up, I'd say, time for me. I haven't got to stress about putting everything on Twitch anymore. Yeah. Now I've got a YouTube. I can just set everything up, a schedule up. There's loads and loads of games on YouTube that I've got there that I haven't even put on my Twitch channel. Nice. And eventually I will, because I would like to. Now I've gotten used to streaming, and I've got a kind of certain way of how I stream. I would like to redo some of them videos.
There's also a difference I think between, when you get a chance to play stuff live and or you're recording stuff, there's definitely a difference in terms of the vibe of those things, isn't there? I think there's some games that you really do want to experience with an audience. I mean, weirdly for me, Red Dead Redemption 2, how I managed to play through that without any spoilers. The first time I ever played it was on stream, and I just had some really good mods in chat who would warn me when people come in.
Yes.
But yeah, it was weirdly, it feels like a game that you shouldn't be able to enjoy streaming it live for the first time, but having this community of people who knew what was happening, knew what was coming, and like that could help me get through it was an amazing thing, and met some really good people through that.
I suppose you'll get people to stay as well. When you get people to stay and go, "Oh, I loved it," without spoiling it with you in chat, they'll stay in your stream and just go, "This is this bit. Let's see how they react to this."
I mean, that was such a big thing, especially with the game like that. That game specifically. I mean, I've got people from that game, and the blanking on the name, the Star Wars Jedi.
Oh, it's Jedi
Fallen Order and
Survivor.
Exactly, those games. And Jedi Survivor. Those games, I've got people from those games still in the community now. But Red Dead and those games, it's like one of those games where watching someone react to the twists and turns in that game is almost as good as playing it. And it's games like that are one of the best ways to explain to people why streaming is so good, because it's like watching Gogglebox. That's how I explain streaming to people now, because I never used to understand it. I was like, I don't get why anyone would watch someone else play games. But it's Gogglebox, isn't it? And I think if you understand games that have stories like Red Dead Redemption 2 and The Last of Us and those types of games, of course they're interesting to watch, because they're like epic films and TV series that are, I mean, as has been proven with The Last of Us and Fallout, and coming out.
God of War Ragnarok as well. You stick that in there. That was just a piece of cinema. That was.
I mean, God of War 2018 was the. So like I said, I didn't game for years. Basically, I got a Switch a little bit after that came out and messed about on Fortnite and that for a bit. PlayStation 5 was the first proper console I bought. The last one before that I had was probably a PlayStation 2, or PlayStation 3. I was young, and didn't game for all those years. The first AAA I played was God of War 2018, and I was like, "Oh, this is what a game can be. Yeah. This is what." And it was one of those games where I'd say to my missus, "I'll be up in. I'm just going to have a quick go. I'll be up in half an hour." It's like 10 o'clock, and then she'd come down at 2 a.m. and go, "What are you doing?" And I'd be like, "I don't know. I don't know why I'm still down here."
Just get lost in it, don't you?
It draws you in so much. God of War 2018, God of War Ragnarok, just both absolutely phenomenal games. But there's something about them that just draws you in, and you can just sit there and sink into them for hours and hours. And it's quite hard to explain to non-gamers really how much of an impact these games can have on you, how good the stories are, and how immersive they can be. But that's one of the beautiful things about streaming, I think, is you get to share that experience with people in real time, right?
You can escape with them as well, can't you? You get I get people in my stream just saying, "You'll never guess how many hours I've spent on this game," and stuff like that. And I'm just like, if you've got the time to spend them hours on a game, then that's a good thing. If you let's just say someone in my community, they play Ark, the second Ark game about the dinosaurs, and she said she's already hit about 200 hours on it, and I was just like, I know for a fact those 200 hours you were happy, you got lost in that game. It is a good thing. I'm not going to judge you for spending 200 hours on a game because you enjoyed it.
And I think what is often missed is the communities that exist around those kind of games. I think gaming, from an outsider's perspective, is often viewed as like an insular, lonely thing. Sat in your mum's basement, that kind of trope of they're lonely, lonely people sat on their own doing it. But maybe once upon a time that was true, but I still don't think I think mostly it was about other people gaming together, whether that be like couch co-ops or whether it be online gaming. And I think actually through lockdown that it was proven, one of the big reasons I got my PlayStation 5 is because all of my friends were playing Warzone together in the evenings, and I couldn't be involved in that. It was purely a social thing to get back into gaming, really. And that rolled into to playing to playing other stuff. So yeah, lots of hours in a game is an amazing thing. I think I had, it's not always happy times, I'll point out, because I had 150 hours in Elden Ring, and every single one of those hours was filled with absolute pain and agony and frustration. But I got through it. I got through it.
That's one of the things. I've got a little story about Elden Ring with my channel, but also being a variety streamer, being a streamer itself, seeing people stream Elden Ring. I'd never played a Souls game. I'd heard about them, but I'd never even watched them. And seeing people stream it, I was like, "Oh, is that what a Souls game is?" Okay. Yeah. So obviously I ended up picking it up. But there's a little bit of a story before then, if you want me to tell you it.
I want to hear it now, because it was also the first Souls game that I played. I got it because I thought, oh, this looks a bit... I was so naive, mate. So naive. I was like, this looks a bit kind of like Lord of the Rings-esque. It looks a bit that... I'm really into this. And none of my friends at our gamers warned me about it. And all of those guys, by the way, those veteran gamers, of my group of like five friends that were gaming at the same time, only 2 of us completed Elden Ring.
Yeah.
And the veterans never made it past. They just hung around in that first field, just in the safety.
That's it. Just level it up very, very slowly. Yeah. But you can those games you can make it as easy as hard as you want, can't you?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. You learn that afterwards. Yeah. But What's your story? What's your Elden Ring story?
So this is going to be for more Elden Ring fans, and they're just going to be like, Villa, why did you do that? But basically, being a massive Final Fantasy fan, they brought out Chocobo GP. Right. Which is like Mario Kart with Final Fantasy characters in a way, and that's I'd only just started streaming at this point, so they came out at similar times, Elden Ring and Chocobo GP, and I was like, I can aim for one of these, but what I'll do is I'll probably get the next one next month. Yeah. And I picked Chocobo GP first because of being a Final Fantasy fan. Yeah. And I was like, oh no, why did I do that? And then I had to wait another month to get Elden Ring while everyone else is absolutely playing it. And I was watching their streams, and I was like, I really, really want to play this game. But luckily, I got it from Argos on my next wage, and they still had the day one edition. So I've managed to get a day one edition like a month after it came out.
Nice.
But yeah, absolutely loved it. It's probably one of my favourite games. And being a variety streamer, like I said, it opened my eyes to being able to play that on stream.
This is a hard question, and it's a question I never answer to people, and it's a question you get often asked when you're streaming, and I never give a solid answer to it. I wonder whether you've got a solid answer to it. What is your favourite video game?
Final Fantasy VII.
Final Fantasy VII. It's such an easy answer.
But yeah, look at all that. Look at all this. Yeah. Yeah.
The thing is, I always go... It's like, what's your favourite film? What's your favourite TV show? What's your favourite song? It's so difficult for me because I'm like, it depends. Like, Elden Ring is my biggest achievement, and it's my favourite game for that reason. Like, The Last of Us 2 is like the most cinematic and emotionally charged game. Red Dead Redemption 2 is like the best for open world, story driven stuff. God of War is the thing that like introduced me to what like a linear story-driven game can be. It's on rails, but still amazing. Like, so I have all these different reasons and different, different things for what games I like, and just to go, I've just got to choose one of them is a really difficult thing.
It's obviously it's not a question where it's like, what is the best game ever? It's like, to you, what is your what is your favorite game ever? But like you said, you mentioned there, but like with games and music, it sometimes it can change. You said, sometimes there's a game like Elden Ring got me into Bloodborne. Yeah. And, I managed to play them. So it's like, it was always a gateway kind of game. Same with music. Yeah. With me, Rammstein, I'm a big Rammstein fan. Yeah. But that got me into foreign language music. Right. So that's all. That will always be an important band for me, because if I didn't enjoy that, not knowing the words.
Yeah. Then, you love them. You love them for different reasons. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could say, I have that kind of love-hate relationship with Elden Ring, where it's like, I'm so glad I got through it. But I had
a death counter. It was 348, I think it was, on my first run. Yeah, so I've got to do one more run to platinum it, and that was the only one trophy just to get the ending. And I forgot to save it. I overwrit my last save just at the end, so I couldn't just go back into my save and then kind of change the ending.
I would have fallen to my knees and looked up to the sky and just gone, no.
We've got the new expansion coming out next month, so it gives me reason to put it back on stream.
I I'm one of these guys that I'll buy physical games and then trade them in and then move on to the next game. So I traded Elden Ring in, so I'm gonna have to rebuy it and replay it and then go through the DLC stuff. So I think that's definitely on the agenda. But it's
yes.
I just cannot decide whether I'm looking forward to it or not. I just don't know.
Nah, but you've done it. Like I said, if that was your first intro into those
did,
kind of games like me, then fair play to it. I know how hard it is for you to go through that and stick through it. So fair play.
Yeah, especially as your first Souls game. I honestly spent probably 5 hours on what I thought was the first boss.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as you come out, not the golden horse guy. He was obviously a nightmare. You shouldn't be dealing with him when you first spawn anyway. It's a cruel trick.
The first one's Margit, isn't it? Margit's the first one.
But here's what I did, right? So when you go, you kind of cross the field and you get to that first archway gate, and as you walk through it, a troll jumps down.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh cool, here's the first boss, right? I hadn't even sat down at the Grace there yet. Hadn't got my horse or anything yet. Didn't know anything about that was going to happen. Yeah. No idea. Hadn't met the little weird ghost girl, and spent hours and hours, mate, trying to fight this troll. And I beat it, and I was like, "Oh, cool, that's boss one down." And then when I sat at the fire, the Grace, got back up, went to walk through the gate, and he jumps down again. I'm like,
back up
"What's
again,
this guy doing here? This is
just
insane."
refreshes everything, yeah.
Yeah, and then I was like, "Oh, there's literally 100 of these guys throughout this game." But yeah, there's some sad moments in it, you know, when you're getting. You kind of taken unaware by a sheep or something and get killed by a sheep. You know, those are always tough ones to take.
You get the little goblins in the dungeons as well, just randomly run at you from the side.
It's just a night. I mean, I watched some people doing no-hit runs on Elden Ring, or you know, playing it on a dance mat or something, and I don't know. I think that makes me angrier than you know, me playing it. That's a level of skill beyond me, I think.
See, I wasn't confident in doing it, but someone wanted to pick it up, and they were just like, "Villa, you played Elden Ring. How easy it?" And I was just like, "It is tough. I will tell you that, but you learn every time you fight a boss. You'll learn every time you die. There's something that you do or you don't do that you learn." And I did a Twitch stream of I'm going to give me an hour from the start, and then fight Margit and see if I can do it.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, "It's not possible, not possible." And I was just like, "It's not my skill. It's not possible." You know, I wasn't even confident about it, but I thought people are going to watch me fail anyway, aren't they? Yeah. So there's that. I've uploaded that onto YouTube. I can give you the answer if you or not, but like it's on YouTube.
I think people have to go and watch it now. I think people have to go and find out. But I mean, it's interesting what people think is possible and what isn't possible. I did a 24-hour. I've done 2 24-hour streams in my life, but the first one I did was. Trying to complete the main Red Dead story in under 24 hours in a single stream. Ooh. And I had so many people come in going, it's not possible, it's not possible. I was like, hang on, the world record speedrun for this is 12 hours. Like, I'm giving myself double the amount of time. I should be able to do this. I got through it. I'll give people the answer because...
You left all the side quests and everything?
I just... hammered through the main story. That wasn't my first playthrough, obviously, because that would be a horrible way to play that game. Playthrough. Yeah. But yeah, I just like mainlined the story, just like tried to get through it as quickly as I could. I think I did it in like 22 and a half, 23 hours. Not the epilogue though. I stopped at the epilogue because honestly, mate, at 23 hours, the epilogue is like some kind of weird hell. Like I could not face. Not obviously there's bits of the epilogue which are great, but that first bit where you're just building fences and shoveling shit or whatever, I was just like,
I've never completed it, so
never.
Yeah, that's a reveal for you guys. Like, I'd never completed it, so
wow. Well, you have to get to the end of the epilogue because that's where there's just a beautiful kind of ending to the game. Yeah, you can get an amazing. It's an amazing game even without the epilogue. But the epilogue, once you get through, the first part of the epilogue is the most boring bit of gaming I've ever played.
But it adds to the game.
Yeah. Once you get past that, it's very, very good. So you start streaming, you're doing faceless stuff, you get on camera, and you know, I suppose you got into this as kind of a hobby to start with. Was there a point where you became a bit more active and started thinking, this is how I'm going to build this up? These, you know, Did you become a bit more strategic about it, or was it just an organic thing?
In a way, but yeah, organic at the same time, because I don't think Twitch is very good for, for getting new people into your channel.
Yeah,
so I was always active on Facebook. This might be a surprise to people who found me on Twitter now, because I was always active on Facebook. So I would always post stuff out on Facebook all the time and just say, this is my channel, this is what I'm playing, or even put polls out saying, like, I'm a variety streamer. What do you want to see on my stream? What would you want me to, and eventually, it was only January last year I started using Twitter. So January last year was when I started using Twitter, and I was just like, I'm just gonna promote as much as I can, talk to as many people as possible, and just find new channels that way rather than just going into people's streams or typing games in streams on Twitch. Yeah. And it was just like everything. I try and bring people to Twitch from every other form of platform, a social platform I've got. So
I was on Twitter years ago. It's a personal profile, like from quite early on, but never even considered it for the game and stuff. And then when I recently, a friend of mine messaged me a bunch of people trying to help me out with like getting in front of more and more people from like a brand perspective and that kind of thing. And every link she sent me was Twitter. So I jumped onto Twitter again, set up my gaming profile. I was like, wow, it's probably one of the biggest tips for content creators and gamers really. It's like Twitter is such a vibrant place.
Yes. Yeah.
For like creators. There's so many creators, so many gamers on there. I'd just not even considered it. Have you got a lot from Twitter in terms of like contacts and stuff?
100%, yeah. It's been the best thing for my channel. I could easily say that, especially if you're covering a game and you feel that you can't put it on Twitch or you can't put it on YouTube. I mainly play on my PS5 off stream as well, so I just get a clip of that, and it will be something relating to what I'm doing that day, or what job I've got to do or where I've got to go, and it'll be like, oh, that'd be perfect just to post that, and people know I'm playing it, and I can thank the devs and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, it's been amazing. Like I said, when I someone opened my eyes to it because they said, you play this game, this person's on Twitter, why don't you message this person and see if they can do something for you? And I was like, yeah, but my Twitter isn't really a gaming account. Like, I've set one up years ago, but never really used it.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, I sent him a message, and he was like, yeah, but I mean, you don't look like a content creator. And I was just like, right, okay, let's look like a content creator then. If I'm gonna, if you're gonna ask for something, you've got to give them an example of what you do and and stuff. So that kind of opened my eyes, and I was like, so from January last year, I was like, right, I'm just gonna change my, move from Facebook, my personal Facebook. To actually put everything on Twitter instead, because it's conversation style, isn't it? You can talk about anything, talk about games, upcoming games, and everything like that. People can see you're interested in their game before the game comes out as well. So
yeah, and it feels like a fairly, open and accessible place to get in touch with people that you might otherwise feel slightly inaccessible. I guess is suddenly. Lots of people I followed on TikTok and these other places, these short form content places, I'm seeing them again on Twitter, and it's just a slightly different side to them, a slightly different vibe as well on there. That's really interesting. But yeah, it feels like a really accessible place and just a great place to find, like you say, developers, publishers, get in front of people and for people to see what you're doing as well. I mean, the podcast is a great example. It's just off, I think I did one tweet. I was quite lucky to get someone who's fairly well known within content creation in Peter Webby, and then post about that, and then suddenly it's like there's lots of people that want to do this, and this is after probably a good 6 months of really trying to get in front of people through other means, through email and stuff like that. And, suddenly you discover this whole world of people who are like, yeah, I'd really love to do that.
They have like their circle. They have people that follow them, and it's like I follow Webby, and then I was like, I wasn't aware, so I was like, I was made me aware, and it's that's how it is, So that's been awesome. Yeah.
So what are your kind of, have you got goals that you've set out for this year for the stream, for what you're doing? Are you continuing to just let it grow organically, or are you a bit more like, I want to try and hit these figures, I want to try and hit these numbers? Like where are you at with it?
It's not really a straightforward question because
Feel like it.
when
You feel like it's out of your control. Or...
Yeah, it's not in your control. But I mean, you can
Yeah.
have the goal, but then it's
Yeah.
also like if you don't reach that goal, it's not your fault.
Yeah.
Where I had two goals that were kind of they were like these are out of my control, but
Yeah.
these are my big goals for this year.
Yeah.
And if they happen, absolutely amazing. And both of them have happened already this year. And I was just like, I can't believe I've these goals. One of them was being invited to I've never been to a game launch party before,
Right.
and that's out of my control. So,
Yeah,
but that was why it was a side goal kind of thing. It was like as a big side goal thing. So I've been lucky enough to be invited to two. So I was kind of like, that is.
But
that's
do you
been
think?
reached.
Do you think? I mean, congratulations on that first of all. But do you think that? Yes, it's out of your control in terms of you can't effectively influence people to invite you to these things. But you've obviously been doing a lot of work outside of that put you in the position where you're visible enough. Or, I suppose there's things around that you can control that may influence whether you reach those goals.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. So like there's only one of me. Obviously, there's only one of you. You can only do what you do, and you can put the effort in. But certain people have to see it. There's millions of people out there trying to do what we do, and you've just got to be active. Like I said with Twitter, because I was active on Twitter, the right people saw me at that time, and they saw my content, and now they're still watching my content now. And it's like if I wasn't on Twitter, they probably wouldn't have found my Twitch channel. They wouldn't have known who TSVILLA is. I wouldn't have had this opportunity. So it's kind of things. It's a bit of a domino effect, but it is. I feel like it's out of my control. But again, like you say, it's me putting myself out there for people to see. If I don't put myself out there, no one's going to see me. I
think you got to take some credit for it. I think.
Yeah.
Because you did the work. Otherwise it feels like it's a. There's going to be an element of luck in there for sure for everyone, I think. But you've definitely sounds like you've put the work in, and you've put yourself out there to get yourself in a position where people can see you and invite you to these things, and feel like you're the person that they want at these events that can help.
I think that's the main thing as well. Yeah, that's the main thing. Like, so if I went the whole year and I hadn't got invited to a game launch, I'd be like, okay, Villa, what didn't I do, or what wasn't I doing? Because let's just say I wanted to go to a game launch that I don't even play. It's like, why would I be invited? Like, why would you invite me? So, I understand that. I understand I wouldn't be invited for stuff like that. So, it's...
Yeah, for sure. So you talked about, getting invited to stuff. Yeah. Is it an aspiration of yours? I know you mentioned that, you're also working full time, and that's a big juggling act between content creation, streaming, and all the million other things that I think I've talked about this a lot. Is like, what most viewers don't see is the million other things you have to do in and around the actual stream itself.
Exactly.
To continue to make that work. Is there an aspiration for you to go, I would like to do this full time, I'd like to dedicate more time to this, I'd like to be able to, stop the work that I'm doing, or are you happy with the balance of, working full time, and, where are you at with that? Because not everyone I've spoken to ever. Some people are like, I like to do this in the evenings, and I like this to be a hobby, and I have no aspiration to do this full time. But then there's other people who are like, yeah, that's the end goal for me.
Yeah, it's kind of I'd say, it's a trick question for me. Like, I earn enough from my full time job for me to be able to do the streaming and not worry about people subbing to my channel and stuff like that. So to go full time, I would have to earn a similar amount, because I wouldn't want to quit my job and then become a full-time streamer and then worry about people
paying
subbing
the bills,
gifting, all that kind of stuff. I live on my own, so I pay everything all myself. So it's kind of like I've got a good balance at the minute. But again, because I work from home, I get to watch everyone on stream all day, and I'm just like, I really wish I could get, like yesterday I actually got to stream during the day for a company, and it just felt awesome. It just felt so good to stream during the day and not have work. But again, like I'll have plans if I ever go full time streaming to make sure that there are some games that I keep off stream, but we're probably talking, years in the future here. But it definitely, I would need a steady income from something at least to allow me to go full time in streaming.
And what would be, what's the thing that has been most difficult for you that you didn't expect when you started streaming? Has there been anything where you gone, no, that's a lot more challenging, or I hadn't even considered that was something I might have to do when I started streaming? Has there been anything that's popped up for you like that?
There's quite a few, and I say it to my community a lot as well. Like, I've been streaming for 2.5 years now, and pressing that going live button, even now, I still get anxious. I still get anxious about it, especially when I've worked a full day as well, and I'm kind of like, I need a break. I've had to move my streams to like 8 o'clock now to give me in, and because I normally did it around about 6 o'clock, so I finish half 5, and then I stream at 6, and it's like, I haven't eaten, I haven't rested, and I'm still in kind of work mode because I'm at the same desk. And then like 8 o'clock is a big gap, and it feels like another day. But also, I would say it's not just about going live and then turning off. You've got to create your content, your short form. If you want to build connections and grow your streams, you've got to go into other people's streams and make friends. Give them a reason to like you, to end up in your streams. Obviously not force them in, but just try and make genuine connections. Not beg people to come to your streams. And for me, because I was doing so much editing after my streams, so we're talking about 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night, I was in people's streams who were in America. So I'm based in the UK. So I kind of like, I've got a lot of friends that I watch that are American, and they stream later. So it's getting where I am now has massively helped me being up so late. But again, I've got a full-time job, so I still haven't found the balance. But it doesn't affect either or. So I kind of, that's what I'd love to do. I'd love to get to a point where I don't stream 5 times a week. I can actually have a rest. Yes.
It's tough, isn't it? It's tough.
Yeah.
It's
fine. It's basically to answer your question. It was a long-winded answer, but it basically try and find sleep. That's the one.
And what would you say to people who are thinking? You mentioned you got some people in your community that have started streaming.
Yeah.
When people are first starting out, like what's the kind of initial, like the foundation tips and tricks that you give them? Like, what are you saying to them, like, before they hit go live for the first time?
Just have a plan. So if you're going to play a game, have a plan of what you want to do in that game at that point, whether it's a single player or multiplayer game. My tip, like I said, people do opposites to me. We all do things differently. My tip is to always turn the viewer count off, because if you've got the viewer count on and you just start streaming, you can get demoralized by it and just literally just go, no one's in my stream, I'm just going to end it. And it's like, but you've got to go through these things to build on it, and then eventually people will come in. If I come to a stream where there's no one in the stream and I'm in their stream and they're playing the game, enjoying the game, talking, commentating about the game, I'm just like, this guy loves it, he gets it. I'm there, I'm chatting to them. I'm always finding new people anyway. I'm always doing it. So just stick at it, but don't worry about the views, and especially if you're trying to reach affiliate on Twitch as well. So if you're trying to reach affiliate on Twitch, just don't stream for long hours. I've told some of my community members they've streamed for like 4, 5, 6 hours to nobody, and I was just like, you've got to do the short ones. Just do the hard.
You're making it tough for yourself. Like
you're doing it hard at the minute.
Viewer count, like it makes that average viewer count really difficult to achieve.
But I've been there. I'm not coming from a place where I would literally got everyone straight away. It took me about 2 months to get everyone, to get affiliate. So I was streaming to no one, for weeks, and I've been there, so I understand. So now I've built my community. I had no community at that time. So when I now built my community, I'm happy to help people get there earlier. So then once you reach affiliate, you can stream for as long as you want. That's up to you. It's not.
Of course. Yeah. You've kind of got to play the game a little bit early on.
Yeah,
Again,
exactly.
It's something I didn't figure out till a little bit too late. I kind of got all the numbers I needed in the last one. I think this is very similar to lots of people. The last one is your average viewership.
And it's like, it's only 3 viewers. It's like, where are these 3 viewers? It's like, I only
and
need 3 people. And you're like, you can get a bit down on it.
People go, guys, just sitting there for an hour. I'm going to stream for an hour. If I just get this hour and I get 4 people in there today, we'll be fine.
Put it on the family WhatsApp group as well. I just need 3 of you just to jump in, please. Just for a couple of weeks.
I feel like everyone goes through a similar process with Twitch. It's definitely a tough one. But like you say, you've got to do the work outside of the platform.
So every bit of hard, well, not roadblock, but every bit of hard part of streaming that I've done, I've always tried to make it easier for everyone else.
Yeah.
So if I do all the hard work, then I'm able to help other people. Especially now I'm in a position now where I've got like contacts, and this is why Twitter's amazing, because I will find someone for a game, or someone will say to me, "Oh, Villa, I need to know who's responsible for this, or do you know anything about this and stuff like that?" And I'll be like, "That's fine. I'll just try and find something," and then I'll just network them or give them the details and stuff like that. And I was like, "This is who you need to speak to," and stuff like that. So I like doing the hard work, so it's easier for everyone else.
Yeah, and I think it also, hopefully that trickles down. I've had people support me massively, and you try and pass that on, right? It should get easier and easier for each new set of people, because they'll find ways. Often people you help will come back 6 months later and go, "Hey, I've been trying this and doing this," and you should, they figure things out that maybe you haven't figured out yet. And
I never dismiss anything. We're always open to ideas.
You got to give stuff a try, haven't you? So what's next on the agenda? What game are you playing at the moment, did you say?
At the minute, I am off stream. It's Final Fantasy 14, so I'm getting back into that because Dawn Trail, the expansion, is coming out next month. Yeah. And I played it back on the PS3 days, and I played it on my own. I didn't really make any friends. I wasn't really talking to anyone on the PlayStation, stuff like that. So I played it for about a year or so, probably about 3 years, maybe, straight. And then I kind of realised I was just playing it on my own with randoms and wasn't really making any friends, so I kind of dropped it. But now the Square community have kind of like I've become friends with quite a lot of them, and they have been promoting about Final Fantasy 14, and I was like, I'm gonna get back into it now. So that's what I'm playing off stream at the minute now.
Nice, like it. And what's next on the agenda for you on stream? You got anything big coming up? Anything that you're excited about aside from Final Fantasy expansions?
Well, we're gonna put Elden Ring back on because of the DLC that's coming out. So we're gonna put that back on. We are on chapter 8 of Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, so we're still doing that. But mainly, I wanna keep like the community side of things, so half and half. So we'll have Elden Ring. I know people can jump in on Elden Ring if they want. But Elden Ring and Final Fantasy will still be on the stream, but then we'll have Mario Kart and Fortnite as well. That's we'll have them. So that's 4 days taken, and then we've still got like a day that I can add something on. But at the minute, there's nothing big other than those for the stream.
I like it, man. Well, listen, thank you so much for jumping on and spending
thank you for having me.
Your evening. You could have chosen to sleep this evening. You could have chosen to have that break, but you've chosen to speak to me instead. But I really appreciate it, man. And you I think your story and your growth is a really interesting one, because I think there's going to be so many people out there that have a similar thing, that started will start in a similar place to you, and hopefully this kind of stuff helps them out. But I really appreciate you jumping on, and it's been wonderful to speak to you, man. And we'll have to do it again.
100%.
I'd love to come back again in like a year's time and go, right, where are we now? And hopefully we're all that little bit further on.
Of course, yeah. No, I mean, this can't be easy what you do either, because I don't do podcasts. So this has been great to have.
Well, I love speaking to people. You know what this is? I'll give you my confession here. You'll be the first to get my confession. I just wanted to get tips and tricks from streamers who are already doing well. That's what it started out. I love speaking to people, and I've always done bits of like interviewing and stuff with people. And I thought, well, why not do it for this, the gaming stuff? And also, selfishly, it means I get to talk to really interesting people and get to understand how did you get to where you get to, and maybe I can get some advice from that. But the great thing for me is that everyone else gets to get that advice as well. Everyone else that's starting out, or everyone else that's ahead, or everyone else that's behind, or it's been such a welcoming community of people. Like 99.9% of the community is absolutely perfect, and I don't think that's always 100% clear from the outside, because when I first started watching streamers, I was watching I won't name any names here, but I was watching Call of Duty streamers and that kind of thing, and there are some great COD streamers out there who are chilled and laid back, but there are some out there, and this goes across all streamers, there are some out there where if you ask a question at the wrong moment, they will tear you apart because they feel like you're having a go. And I was like, I think there's the perception sometimes that the gaming community can be quite toxic, and there's definitely elements of that, but my experience of streamers in general has been phenomenal. Just like this, it's been, everyone's super welcoming, everyone's like, no, there's not really any gatekeeping with the people I've spoken to. Everyone's just like, yeah, take all this stuff that I've learned and go away and do it, and come back if you need anything else. So that's,
there you go.
that's the trick.
Off the back of what you just said then, and what you said earlier to me about I could have been sleeping rather than being on this podcast. A viewer could be somewhere else on Twitch or doing something else off Twitch, and they chose to be in your channel. So I always make them feel special, because it's like, I know why you're in my channel, because you're here for me or the game, or you want to get away from something, or just chat to someone. But they could literally be doing something else, but they're in your channel. So that's why they always make, that one viewer is always special to me. So,
Yes. Well, listen, man, I appreciate you very much. Thank you so much for jumping on. And, we'll do this again soon.